Well. After about 2 months of silence, after they said that we're going to talk about it, you have intel on the matchmaking. And it's very specific on the matchmaking. The whole skill-based thing is very specific. It doesn't go into any other gameplay elements. It's just very specifically skill-based, and you'll understand what I mean by that as we go on to the video. But start off with the matchmaking, and it goes connection, time to match, skill, performance, platform, voice chat, input, recent maps, and playlists. Well, I don't know if that's the whole thing, but those are the many factors that go into it. I think some of it's kind of BS, but yeah. As for connection, as the community will test, ping is king. Connection is the most critical and heavily weighted factor in the matchmaking process, which is true. But because this is multiplayer specific, it's easy to get small ping because, multiplayer lobbies are 6v6, whereas Warzone is a lot bigger. So Warzone will come the Warzone talk will come at a later date apparently. So for the second factor, it's time to match. This is the second most critical to the matchmaking process. We all want to spend time playing the game rather than waiting for matches, which is true. And then the following factor is also critical to the process: playlist diversity, the number of playlists available for players to choose from, and then we have skill performance. That's where it all comes in. This is used to give our players a global community with the wide skill range the opportunity to have an impact in every match. Now this side is going to get very juicy towards the end. Input device, controller on mouse and keyboard. So usually when you're a controller, you'll notice more dominant controller over mouse and keyboard. You'll have like 1 or 2 in your lobby. But I think if you're mouse and key, you'll have more M and K. I could be completely wrong, could be very different, but that's what I've noticed, which makes sense. And then obviously platform dependent too. But if you're a console, you can disable crossplay, so you'd have to play with PC players because a bunch of these shitters cheat on PC. So, and then for PC, we're all fucked. We can't do shit. We have to deal with it. Every time a player begins matchmaking in multiplayer, for example, all these processes listed above need a process to work through it all, to find other players to quickly assemble a lobby that is stable and competitive. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. It has flaws in the system, obviously. I've heard that they're making tweaks to it. So, measuring connection. Connection is the most important part of the COD experience, which is true. Connection dictates the speed at which the game can transfer information from every player to and from a server. So basically what this means is, the lower your ping, the better your hit rate will be when the hit rate wants to work, and the higher your ping, the slower your hit rate will be because it's taking longer to transfer the data. So that's why when you're playing on ping, like when you're shooting someone and the hit markers take forever to register, it's not you, it's the ping because it's taking a while for it to register. But if you play on the high ping enough, you get used to it. So it's not really that much. It's not really that much of an issue. COD uses the client-server model to host matches where the time it takes to share information between a player and the data center has an impact on the overall feel of a match. So this makes sense why sometimes the server crashes out, because they could just be a bad client server, like it's just not up to par or whatever, even though they should have the best servers, but it is what it is. That's why you see the servers bug out sometimes, because it's just not up to par. Or stupid hackers fucking DDoS it because they're bored. And then they also talk about netcode. It works to reduce the effect of latency, but not completely take it out. The process seeks to reduce the overall amount of latency by prioritizing stable connections or low ping with a short wait time in mind. That's what it's supposed to do. Measuring time to match for matchmaking. Any form of matchmaking takes time. So basically, the whole of this subcategory means, please stop leaving matches if you don't get the map you like, because it hurts the matchmaking. So they use harassment as an example here, and they go into detail, say players often leave lobbies and matches early on, hoping to re-queue into shipment instead. This creates a vacant spot on a team during an early stage of the match, as the matchmaking process may prioritize backfilling that spot. This could result in players perceiving that Rust is disproportionately selected over shipment, and until they are trying to cherry pick maps may have an unexpected result. So basically saying stop fucking leaving, can. But no, let people do what they want. And here we go, measuring skill for matchmaking. While skill is one of the several factors in COD multiplayer, we know the community wants more information about how it fits into the process. So before I get into other things, there was something that stood out. They said that their work in the area dates back as early as COD 4, which I don't think is true. But if they did implement it that early on, then it was very, very low. Like as well as the whole Black Ops 2 era. Skills determined based on a player's overall performance, like kills, deaths, win-loss, and more. Including including mode selection and recent matches as an overall metric across all multiplayer experiences. This is a full measurement that's constantly updating and reacting to your gameplay. Skills not only a factor in matchmaking players against appropriate enemies, but also when finding teammates. So this is why people purposely play bad in matches so that they can get easy lobbies. It's really easy to manipulate if you know what you're doing. But the main part of all is just so that, bad players can have a better time playing against other bad players, and then high skill players can just play the game. Our data shows that when lower skill players are consistently on the losing end, they are likely to quit matches in progress or stop playing altogether. This has an effect on the player pool. A more player pool means wait times for matches increase and connections may not be as strong as they should be. This can compound over time to create a spiral effect. Eventually, when only high skill players remain because lower skill players have quit out of frustration, the result is an ecosystem that is worse overall for everyone. Basically, they're saying when the lower skill players aren't having fun or they're not getting kills because they can't compete with the higher skill level players, they will quit very easily. And the high skill players won't leave as easily because, when you think of a high school player, you think competitive. And when you're competitive, you don't give up easily. So obviously you're gonna keep playing. So they're basically saying stop crying. If you want shit changed, shut up and go outside. That's basically what they're saying. So pretty much just isn't going anywhere because they've said that they've done extensive testing, and whenever low school players are paired with high school players, they don't have fun. And then when lower school players are with other bots, they have fun. So high school players are just gonna have to deal with the insane matchmaking or just leave if shit gets too sweaty. Like, it's just something we're gonna have to deal with, and I've had to deal with this shit for a long time. But honestly, you get used to it. It's what we have had to deal with, so it makes you a better player as well. So take that with what you will, eh? Game data indicates that having some limitation on the disparity of skill across the players in the match makes for a healthier ecosystem. We also understand that many high school players want a variety of experience, but often feel like they only get the sweetest lobbies. We've heard this feedback clearly, and we continue. Yeah, see. So they know about it, but they're taking the time to balance it, which is what we want. Lobby balance. We want to sweat. Sometimes we want to sweat because we just feel like going all out. Sometimes we just want to chill. We don't always want to sweat. You can already see people saying why you can play blah blah blah. It's just a pointless argument. And then here we have it to conclude. We have the community questions, bit of a Q&A. First up, we have, does COD consider player engagement time played as a factor in matchmaking? We do not consider how often or how much you play when determining matchmaking. Now, this is a tenfold question, or whatever the fuck the saying is, because is this like overall time played, or is this like first game on type shit? I would assume it's overall time played, because if it was first game on type shit, that's absurdly wrong, but overall time played, then yeah, it makes sense. Then yeah, it has like little to no effect on it, so it makes sense. Does the COD matchmaking process impact any in-game elements such as hit registration, player visibility, aim assist, damage, etc.? No. Our matchmaking process does not impact gameplay elements. Now, this is why I said they were addressing the matchmaking specifically, not the gameplay elements, because they have patents about skill-based hit reg and all that shit. Play visibility, that's a grey area, but hit registration, skill-based hit reg, yeah, I don't know, man. But for the matchmaking specifically, yeah, no. Does spending money on COD content such as bundles, etc. change how players are matched? Money spent does not in any way, shape or form factor into matchmaking. Now you can take that with how you will. I don't believe that. It's kind of obvious that they give advantage to people who spend money. But who knows? Who actually knows? Could just be saying anything to save their ass, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, take that information with how you will. That's what they said. Does Call of Duty use bots in multiplayer or matchmaking? COD multiplayer does not use bots as part of the general matchmaking process. If this changes in the future, we will inform the community. Matchmaking specifically, yes, they don't. But in game, that's a lie. Do partners or content creators get special consideration in general matchmaking? No. We do not change the matchmaking process based on who owns the account. In specific cases, such as for events like COD Next, we may be required to customize how lobbies are formed. However, these events usually take place in private matches and do not impact general matchmaking. So this is saying, do content creators get whitelisted lobbies and shit and whatever? Which, no, they don't get whitelisted. Some people are whitelisted, which means they can't get banned. Although, actually, I don't know if that's true. Maybe they can get shadow banned still, maybe not, I don't know. But I would think not, right? They're whitelisted. But yeah, they don't get whitelisted lobbies, but I don't know if this mentions anything to do with VPNs. But yeah, a lot of people accusing content creators of getting special lobbies because they're whitelisted or they're like big content creators. So that's never been the case. I don't know if they said something here. This is the only thing. This is the only thing I actually believe to be true. But yeah, I'm glad that they confirmed it there. Have you ever considered an opt-in, opt-out system for the matchmaking algorithm? Our data suggests that splitting the player base or opt-in, opt-out matchmaking system will have a negative consequences on the player pool. That means potentially longer wait times based on the type of matchmaking selected and matches with poor connections. Now this is a big one. Have you ever tested removing skill as a consideration from matchmaking? We have run tests over the years to determine if removing skill as a consideration from the matchmaking makes sense. We will continue to launch these tests periodically. To date, the data remains consistent with what we detailed above. Players tend to quit matches or stop playing if they're getting blown out, resulting in a negative overall experience for all players in the lobby and the general player population. We purposefully do not disclose when these tests occur because it may impact feedback or the data we see during these tests. Basically, as I said before, if lower skill players aren't having fun, they're just gonna dip. Us high skill players, we're just gonna chill, you know. Like, you know, it is what it is. So they're trying to balance it, but like with how big of a casual community they have, it's kind of hard. So, which I get it. It's a very great area, but overall they're not doing anything to skill-based matchmaking. Maybe they'll tweak it a little bit, but they're not making any big changes anytime soon. But they're gonna try and balance the lobbies for us high school players, which I kind of fuck with. But we'll see how long it takes. It could be 5 years, could be 10 years. Might not even be here anymore when they eventually do it. But we'll see how we go. Have you considered removing skill from matchmaking in specific general multiplayer game modes? We have considered this in the past, and we will continue to examine if this idea makes sense as part of an experiment to players or in specific modes. We have nothing to announce on that front today. So in other words, they've considered it, but they're not too sure. So yeah, fair enough. Overall, this was a whole lot of nothing. This doesn't improve our knowledge on the current system. This only proves what we already know, and it doesn't tell us anything more that we don't know. There's only one thing in here that like I agree with, but yeah, other than that, it's like a whole lot of nothing. I'm curious to know what you guys think of it, because there was a lot of mixed reactions. I want to say, but yeah, this got hyped up for some reason. Like, it's not a really big of a deal. It's not something that we haven't already known about, you know. So yeah, let me know down below what you thought of this whole blog post and what you thought of this whole talk. I thought it was just, I think this is just trying to get good PR, to be honest. But I do agree with one of the questions and answers. I do agree with one of the answers I did to the questions. So yeah, like and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.